Now on the CTV News at 5, RCMP caution against travel on Alberta roads. Plus, the province is considering lifting a nearly 20-year ban on hunting grizzly bears. And one of the largest private land conservation projects in Canadian history is announced.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. Lethbridge and southern Alberta is facing its biggest storm of the season so far. It's already causing havoc on city roads. Quinn Keenan has more.
The Lethbridge region is caught in the middle of an Alberta Clipper system. These fast-moving systems carry high winds and dump large amounts of snow in a short period.
Very treacherous road conditions, near zero visibilities at times, and really strong wind gusts blowing snow, widespread blowing snow. So we've seen gusts, widespread gusts over 70 kilometers an hour.
Local roads in Lethbridge are covered in snow and ice. Motorists are also faced with whiteout conditions in most areas of the city. The Whoop-Up Drive Bridge and Highway 3 have seen numerous collisions and cars not being able to make it up hills. RCMP are advising drivers to stay off highways.
We were preparing for this yesterday. We could see it coming. I mean, I watched the news all the time and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to be busy tomorrow. So we could see it coming and we knew that this was potentially going to happen, but not to this extreme. Like, this was pretty serious today. Anyone
who decides or needs to drive should take extreme caution. Leave plenty of room between yourself and other cars. If you have one, be sure to pack an emergency winter supply kit.
Certainly add extra time or plan or choose your route differently or cancel or delay your plans if you can. Otherwise, make sure you're dressed to be out in the environment perhaps longer than you intend to be.
Storm conditions won't stay around for long. The weather is expected to improve significantly by the evening.
Quite a fast-moving system. So conditions are going to improve significantly later this afternoon into early evening for Alberta as that system tracks to the east.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And areas to the north also got slammed earlier today by heavy snow and strong wind, creating treacherous conditions with poor visibility. Calgary police also asking people not to travel unless absolutely necessary. The QE2 was closed due to an 80 to 100 vehicle pileup between Airdrie and Calgary. Let's go to Danielle Savoni now to talk about that forecast, Danielle.
Yeah, and really this has essentially been the perfect storm. Jackie, a lot of things to talk about here. So quick look at warnings that are still in place. And when we look at the far south, wind warning off to the southwest corner and into the southeast, it's a wind warning and a winter storm warning. And that's because we're still getting snowfall in the southeast corner. One of the key things with this system and this cold front that has pushed through is ahead of it the wind gusts. So check out these max wind gusts earlier today. And then when the snow arrived, we were closer to that mark as well, closer to the 100 kilometer per hour mark. And that's why we're having not just the snow, but reduced visibility. We also had flash freezing out there as well, because as you can see, temperatures quickly plummeted. In Lethbridge, we're down to -11. More details coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. We are 1 week away to Christmas, and it is all hands on deck to get last-minute donations out to those in need at nonprofits across the city, with the goal of helping 9,000 people this year. Carson Marsouk has more on how this year's Christmas Hope campaign is going.
The food hampers are packed and ready to go out to those in need this holiday season.
We have already seen more than 800 hampers go out to local families just here at Interfaith Food Bank alone. And with our Christmas Hope partners, we know that that number is at least doubled, if not more.
This year, the Interfaith has set out to help 1,000 households celebrate the holidays with food on their table.
So our Christmas campaign budget is actually $525,000. This is the time of the year that we recruit the majority of the support that will get us through next year. At this point, we're at about 60% of our goal.
The citywide Christmas Hope campaign, split between 7 organizations, is aiming to help 9,000 children, adults, and seniors.
I think we're on track. We do know that every agency has been terribly busy over the last little bit.
And that rush has been felt at the Salvation Army.
We have just about reached our capacity of 500 children helped. and that's a marked increase over the past number of years. Actually, it's about a 15% increase. And at the same time, our fundraising is actually down about 10%.
With 1 week left to go, Zach Marshall says the final push to bring in donations is underway across all agencies.
One of those things where you never want to see the target met because it means that more families are in need. But for us, it means that we're able to help people as best as we can.
Donations of teen items along with holiday food staples like turkey and cranberries are still needed.
Every donation counts, every little bit of support helps so that we can kind of mobilize and help our neighbors in need.
Carson Marsuk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
To learn how to donate or to request assistance, you can visit christmashope.ca. My City Care is expanding its community kitchen and child nutrition programs thanks to a recent donation. The Humanitarian Fund from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has donated nearly $77,000 in support of My City Care's community kitchen project. The funds will go towards a new expansion design of its kitchen to strengthen food security and community connection across Lethbridge. The kitchen will serve as a shared resource for food preparation, education, and collaboration.
We're seeing more families suffer with job loss, more families that are struggling with housing security. So not only is the food security an issue, but we're just seeing so many people struggling in general. And when they know that they have a support system like this in place and that they can access those types of resources, we're seeing just the overall peace and security of our families in a much better and healthier place. And so investing in something like this, I would say, is going to be hugely beneficial in the years to come.
My City Care is also planning to expand its Healthy Heroes school lunch program into all Lethbridge schools for the 2026 school year. Recall petitions have been issued for 2 more UCP MLAs, including the province's Justice Minister. Calgary Cross MLA Mickey Emery is the latest MLA to have a recall petition against them. The applicant behind the petition says Emery has been unresponsive to his constituents and claims his stances represent UCP policy decisions as opposed to those of his constituents. In response, Emery says he will continue to stand up for Calgary Cross and says the Recall Act should not be misused by partisan activists. Fort Saskatchewan, Vegreville's Jackie Armstrong-Homanek is the other MLA. There are now 23 recall petitions, with 22 affecting UCP MLAs. The Alberta government isn't ruling out lifting a nearly 20-year ban on hunting grizzly bears. There has been a ban on hunting grizzlies since 2006. Last year, the province introduced a program that targeted problem bears, but in light of recent attacks and the bears' movement to areas they haven't traditionally been in more than a century, the Minister of Forestry and Parks says he is considering the possibility to protect people and their livestock.
No plans at this time yet. We don't want to take anything off the table. I think it would be irresponsible to take all options or not have all options on the table. So we're looking at everything. We obviously are focusing on education, number one.
Many conservationists and wildlife groups are opposed to the idea over the impact it could have on the grizzly population, suggesting a move to lift the ban would be motivated to benefit hunters and not in the interest of public safety. The first section of the new Crow's Nest Trail pathway in Lethbridge is now open. The pathway begins at Mayor McGrath Drive South and 4th Avenue South, running east along the south side of Crow's Nest Trail to 28th Street South. The pathway is a shared lane with safety features like guardrails and buffer zones. Phase 2 will begin in the spring and continue along Highway 3 into the W.T. Hill Business Park. It will also include a pedestrian rail crossing and intersection upgrades. The pathway will eventually end at 4th Avenue South and W.T. Hill Boulevard South, connecting to the Link Pathway. One of the largest private land conservation projects in Canada's history was announced yesterday, protecting a key wildlife migration corridor along the BC-Alberta boundary.
This investment will help complete the acquisition and long-term protection of key forest lands in the Kootenays and will restore damaged landscapes, transitioning lands from industrial forestry to conservation-focused management.
The Kootenay Forest Lands in southeastern BC includes more than 100,000 acres of forest and high-elevation grasslands, including some in and around Waterton Lakes National Park. The Nature Conservancy of Canada reached the agreement with a variety of government, industry and First Nations partners. At-risk species include grizzlies and bullhorn sheep that live in the protected area. With less than 10 days until Christmas, it's peak holiday spending time, but experts are warning about falling prey to buy now, pay later plans that might have you stretching your wallet. The average Albertan plans on spending over $1,500 on gifts, travel, and entertainment this holiday season. That is down 8% from last year. According to PwC, Canada's holiday outlook, due to inflation, many are feeling financial pressure and might think about using buy now, pay later plans. But one professor at the University of Calgary warns it could do more harm than good.
If we take the price of an item and divide it into installments, there's a psychological difference to what people are spending, so they don't realize it, but often they actually end up spending more than they would otherwise. They're more likely to buy an item. They're more likely to pay more for items than they would otherwise.
Fireman adds there's an immense emotional component to spending. People often feel like they're valued with more consumerism or materialism. Danielle has more on that forecast coming up right after this break. Plus, we'll tell you about an unexpected benefit of the COVID vaccine.
All right, well, my incorrect warnings map just popped up, so ignore the snowfall 15 centimeters, okay? We're going to look at the colors here. In the orange, this is a wind warning in place, so we still have excessive wind gusts likely in the southwest corner, but we're done with the snow for a little bit at least. It may be back tomorrow night with strong gusts. We'll talk more about that in a moment. When we look at what's happening off to the east in the yellow here, there's actually a wind warning and a winter storm warning in place because we're not done with the snow just yet in the southeast corner. Again, the worst of it mainly out, but we still have treacherous driving conditions in some parts of the southeast. I'll show you the radar in just a moment. One of the key things with this is we also had flash freezing in the far south. We dipped more than 10 degrees in just a couple of hours. And so all that had melted because it's been so warm froze really quick. Then we got snow on top of that. So with those ice patches out there and the snow on top where you can't see that, then you add to it that we had snow and blowing snow, reducing visibility to almost zero in some spots. That really created the worst driving conditions for wintertime. All right, Lethbridge -11 right now, Milk River -11, Brooks at -14. These are just ambient base temperatures. This does not include wind chill, so it's colder than that at times as the wind gusts. This is a look at the maximum wind gusts we had out there today. 100 in Medicine Hat, over 100, 113 in Lethbridge, and 102 in Pincher Creek. Now, earlier in the day, these were more like Chinook winds out of the west. Later in the day, when the snow arrived, the gusts were closer to about 80 kilometers per hour, which was enough to reduce visibility to almost zero, or even in some localized spots, zero. Plus those icy conditions underneath. So this is what we were contending with. This is why it's been treacherous road conditions, and we're almost done with this now. So here's a look at what we're dealing with. This is still in the far, far south, right closer to the Saskatchewan border. Most of the system is off in Saskatchewan, but we're still dealing with it here. Let me give you the timeline on this, because this is basically going to be out of the way by 11 o'clock at night for all communities in the south. We're still going to have gusty conditions, but at least it won't be combined with snow, so it won't reduce visibility. It may reduce or create some blowing snow conditions out there for tonight and through parts of tomorrow as well, because tomorrow will still be gusty, but we won't have the snow falling. So that's a key thing. All right, we also are looking at less wind for tomorrow. It won't be 100 kilometers per hour. We're looking closer to 40 or 60. All right, and then after that, we're looking at fairly clear conditions for the next few days, which is good news for us because we do need a break. Gusting 50 overnight tonight in East Kootenay area, and then a couple centimeters possible tomorrow with gusts around 40 kilometers per hour. So reduced visibility is certainly possible in the East Kootenay area. So on the BC side, still dealing with the next system. All right, Crow's Nest Pass, -7 tonight. Gusts going from the possibility of 110 kilometers per hour over the next couple of hours down to 50 overnight. And then tomorrow you're looking at 50 to 60. So we are looking at a little bit of snow later in the day, but tomorrow night the snow will intensify. It's also going to be combined with strong wind gusts. So tomorrow night will be another tricky one on the roads. Medicine Hat, snow tonight. As this tapers off by 11 o'clock, the wind's gusting up to 50. It'll gust up to 50 tomorrow as well. Lethbridge, we're pretty much done with the snowfall. Tomorrow you're looking at gusts 40 kilometers per hour, some cloud cover and a high of 1, and then we should remain above freezing for the next couple of days, as you can see.
Researchers at the University of British Columbia have found that the COVID-19 vaccine reduces the risk of premature birth and severe illness in pregnancy. The study analyzed data on almost 20,000 pregnant women infected with COVID in 2021 and 2022. It found women who were vaccinated were about 60% less likely to be hospitalized and 90% less likely to need intensive care. They also say the risk of premature birth in vaccinated women was 20% lower during the Delta wave and 36% lower during the Omicron wave. UBC has broken ground on a new state-of-the-art facility that aims to develop life-saving treatments close to home.
The ATMF is going to fill a critical gap in BC's biomanufacturing capabilities, enabling UBC's researchers and local biotech companies to develop, test, and manufacture life-saving treatments here at home.
The Advanced Therapeutics Manufacturing Facility will be the first of its kind in Western Canada. It will be used by researchers and local biotech companies to create and commercialize drugs for a wide range of health conditions. The World Happiness Report is out, and it looks like the kids aren't all right. The report suggests Canadians under the age of 30 are the unhappiest generation. That age group was once considered the happiest, holding the title as recently as 2011. But this year, young people across Canada say they are bogged down by an unaffordable housing market, a growing youth mental health crisis, and are struggling to stay safe for the future. When it comes to overall age groups, Canada ranked the 15th happiest country. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5. Medicine Hat former star Gavin McKenna says Team Canada is ready for this year's World Juniors. Sports is next. The Lethbridge Sports Hall of Fame is accepting nominations for its upcoming class of 2026. Anyone can nominate a deserving individual or team for the award. The nonprofit organization says the awards remember, recognize, and celebrate achievements of Lethbridge and area athletes and builders. Nominations can be made in 4 categories, including athlete, team, builder, and special award. Nominations are open until January 31st, with the induction ceremony set to take place in May. Lethbridge Hurricanes had 1 game to go before they hit their holiday break. They hosted the Edmonton Oil Kings at home in a rare Tuesday night matchup. After going down 1-0, Easton O would tie it up for Lethbridge with his 5th of the season. That tie, though, wouldn't last when early in the third, Lucas Sachin fires one past Oaten to retake the lead. Then late in the third, with Lethbridge still trailing, Cade Duell pounced on a rebound to send the game to overtime. And in that extra period, Matteo Fabrizi taps in a pass from Luke Cousins to send the Canes into the break with a 3-2 win. The World Junior Hockey Championship takes place in Minneapolis-St. Paul on Boxing Day. Team Canada finished 5th last year and vows to do better this time round. Glenn Campbell reports.
Here's a feed by Team Canada always has high expectations at the World Junior Hockey Championship, but they've been eliminated in the quarterfinals the last 2 years. Last year, Czechia got the better of Canada in the quarters.
Canada should never finish 5th, and I think coming into this year, there's a lot of eyes on us to do well, and I think that's our motivation, do it for the country. We let them down a few times now, and we owe it to them. I expect a lot. I expect to be, one of the top guys. I want to lead this team, and I want to be a leader, show the guys, what it takes and stuff, and hopefully lead us to a gold medal.
McKenna is Canada's youngest forward and has already faced plenty of adversity this season. He was projected to be the first overall pick at this year's NHL draft, but he struggled at times adjusting to college hockey. But he looks like a man on a mission heading into the World Juniors.
Yeah, I'm confident going into the tournament. There's a lot of chatter on my year and stuff, but I think it's a growth year for me. Playing against harder guys, I could have stayed in the dub and put up a bunch of points, but I wanted to challenge myself this year, and I've been getting challenged. So I think that being in the NCAA prepares me for this tournament, and hopefully I have a good one.
Another player with something to prove is Flames defenseman Zane Parekh. He was a late cut from last year's team, but no doubt he'll suit up for Team Canada this time around. Parekh says it'll be different having London Knights coach Dale Hunter behind the bench.
Yeah, I wanted to joke with him and ask him if I'm on the dark side now. So it's nice. I think he's a really knowledgeable guy. I mean, he played in the NHL, and he's obviously coached at really high levels, and he wins every year, it seems like.
He's a real good player. He sees the ice so well, and every time he touches the puck, something dangerous is going to happen. And so we were lost the video on him, but sometimes it didn't help. So that's a unique player that he can play to that high level.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Canada opens the World Junior Tournament on Boxing Day against Czechia. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, how a rescue 35 years ago is still being honored and remembered. One woman's brush with death has inspired an epic giving campaign that has spanned decades. Adam Sawatsky reports.
Below the clouds, Keiko Mori was vacationing on one of the remote Gulf Islands when she broke her ankle on a hike and fell into a cave.
And I fell about 18 feet. And luckily, there was a rotten log where I landed, surrounded by all rock beds.
Although she was grateful the log broke her fall, Keiko couldn't move and spent an hour and a half on the cave floor before being rescued by members of the Thetis Island Volunteer Fire Department.
It was a horrendous job to come down, put me on a stretcher, carry me all the way up from the cave.
And because there's no hospital on the island, Keiko was transported by boat to be treated for a broken back.
Good news is I was not going to be quadriplegic.
After being bedridden for months back home on the mainland,
Some tea.
Keiko mailed a Christmas care package to the volunteers as thanks.
I always thought without them, I wouldn't be here.
And seeing as she's never stopped being grateful for every day, including seeing her son grow up to make her a grandmother, Keiko's never stopped sending the department Christmas gifts.
I believe it's 35 years.
Every year?
Yes, every single year just before Christmas.
Fire Chief Janine Caldback says that even though the original members of the rescue team are long gone, Keiko still sends hot drinks, sweet treats, and a letter updating the current team on how she spent the past year.
We feel like she's part of our family as well, even though nobody has met her. She's important to us, and we're just thrilled that we're important to her.
And Keiko plans to keep sending gifts for as long as she can, because it's important to recognize the volunteers who keep helping whenever they can.
And this year, amazingly, I got this photo from the fire department holding my gifts. That's so great. So I'm going to put in a frame and put on the wall.
A reminder of how this department's life-saving gift 35 years ago keeps giving, by Keiko living every moment of that life with gratitude that can't be contained. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.